Hello there, welcome back. I have to apologize. For a couple of weeks now I have neglected to bring before you my global view of certain events that may have an impact on our international relations. There seems to be light at the end of the tunnel. Before I do, I'm going to present to you the results of a pattern analysis that I researched in response to the Neanderthal economists and Republicans' claims that Hoover was the man and Roosevelt was just a nincompoop who never even came close to rescue the 1930s-style depression. You may want to look into it. The case is of interest because we find ourselves in a situation very similar to the one Roosevelt found himself in. As you know, the Neanderthaler's lips are moving and out comes, as usual, bleep. Here it goes. The data was based upon a US Census survey dated 1976 and shows unemployment numbers between the years of 1920 and 1950. It was recently published by Huffington Post. I recommend you subscribe to Huffy. The graph shows that unemployment rose sharply the day Herbert Hoover became president and continued to rise throughout his presidency. That changed dramatically after Roosevelt took office. Unemployment fell to less than 3% by the end of his 8-year term. Now let's compare the Hoover, Roosevelt and Clinton Bush patterns just to see whether there is a trend similarity between the tax cutters, or if you prefer, the do-nothingers, if that is a word, and those that emphasize on stimulus. Again, the Clinton trend shows sharply decreasing unemployment, while the unemployment under Bush surges, and during the last 2 years in office dramatically. It appears to me that certain politicians don't even have a clue about the state of the economy, instead repeat the same bleep over and over again. That gave me the idea for a new product. I went out to Staples, got myself an easy button and modified it so that all these guys have to do is push it, and out comes what would normally come out of their mouths, the lips moving, giving them away. Let's try it. Here goes.
Fundamentals of our economy are strong.
Here's another one.
I have a great belief that the fundamentals of our economy are very strong. Very strong.
Oh, and let's not forget their whining about their version of bipartisan relationships.
You can call it a lot of things, but bipartisan isn't one of them unless you say that two individuals, and possibly a third, but no more than that out of 40, are in agreement.
Or that they didn't have enough input in the stimulus plan, especially that they couldn't convince Democrats to cut more taxes.
You can blame George Bush all you want to. He didn't write this bill. Y'all did. This is your bill.
A while ago, I read a study about what drives women to lesbianism. I think by now you have about an idea, an answer. Of course, it takes me to get him back. All right now, the German magazine Der Spiegel, translated The Mirror, describes how Obama has transformed the negative image that evolved over the last 8 years of America and Europe, and how enthusiastic Europeans are today about the new president. Which does not necessarily translate into sending more troops to Afghanistan. However, it does translate into a willingness, at least in Germany, to accept Gitmo prisoners, provided of course certain conditions are being met. Now, the European states too have problems, especially with the way the European Union handles its part of the economic recovery. Doesn't that sound familiar? On a different level, the British newspaper The Telegraph reported a while ago that they had a volunteer who for 1 year used no cash and paid everything by credit card. Whoop-de-doo. I carry no cash at least for the last 5 years. Now, as to the cashless society, South Korea is way ahead of us. After some haggling between the government and the banks, everybody accepts now the telephone as a means to pay everything from burger to traffic fines. The system seems to be working just fine. Looks like you have a new use for your Raspberry. Anyway, have fun and take care. I'll see you tomorrow.